Okay, this will be my first attempt to record a tutorial. Hopefully this works out, so wish me luck. I have been asked to go over exercise 9.11 and post it. So very first thing, want to read over the exercise. It says that suppose Nike Incorporated reported the following plant assets and intangible assets for the year ending May 31st of 2017 in millions. Other plant assets, it lists land, patents and trademarks, machinery and equipment, buildings, goodwill, accumulated amortization, and accumulated depreciation. So for the reading this week, we learned that there were two different categories that we're concentrating on. One is property, plant, and equipment, and the other one is intangible assets. So the first one, this is just a partial balance sheet. The first one that we're going over is the property, plant, and equipment. So that's the very first heading that we need to put into the balance sheet. The next thing, and the first thing that's listed first under property, plant, and equipment is land. So we go back up to the land portion, and it says that land was 250, and it's in millions, but we put the 250 in. The next portion that you follow is the other assets that are not intangible assets, but regular assets. So we have other plant assets, we have machinery and equipment, and we also have buildings. So we want to list each one of those in order. Next, we put the other plant assets with the amount listed, the machinery and equipment with the amount listed, 2190, and the buildings with the amount listed, 950. Now it has a box for add or less. We need to do less, and when we're talking about property, plant, and equipment, we're talking not about amortization, but depreciation, because it's actually part of a physical property that's going to depreciate over a period of time. So we put less, and the accumulated depreciation is 2,360. So we add that into that portion. The next thing that we do to get this total over here is we simply add these boxes. So it's 948 plus 2190 plus 950. And then remember, you have to subtract the accumulated depreciation, 2360. That gives you 1728, which is what this total is. Now you have to add these two together to get the total property, plant, and equipment. So 1728 plus 250 is the 1978 that we got right here. The next portion of the partial balance sheet is the intangible assets that are listed. Remember that intangible assets are things that are such as trademarks and property and goodwill. Remember, it says accumulated amortization. There's only a few things that we can amortize, and that means that if it's something that's going to last for a period of time, then you break it down. Say if it's a patent or a trademark that's going to last for 20 years that you pay for up front, you're going to break it down in an amortization schedule. Goodwill can't be amortized, so the very first thing that needs to be listed, first of all, is the title, is intangible assets, and then goodwill with the amount of goodwill. And remember, the goodwill is basically the amount over, like when you go to sell the entire corporation, the amount over under what the corporation makes, or what the book value of the corporation is. The rest would be considered goodwill based on the company's name, which of course Nike has a big name. So, and then the next thing that's listed is patents and trademarks, and the amount for that was 510, less the accumulated amortization, and the amortization is $50. So once again, to get this number, you have to subtract $50 from 510, which is easy, but this is how I always do it anyway, so I don't mess up. 460. Last, you put the total intangible assets, and that's these two numbers added together. So 460 plus 210. That gives you the 670. And that is the end. Hopefully that helps to understand And if you have any questions, feel free to ask.